Hello and welcome everyone. This is Susie Beiler. Welcome to this channeling video. I want to thank everyone who has been sending in your questions. We have included a lot of them in this video. Keep sending them. And as always, my intention is to be as pure and clear as possible without any of my judgments or filters. So take this information and just filter it through your own heart to see what is for you. Much love.
What is the name of this universe?
Dear ones, there are many names for this universe, depending whom you ask. The information I am giving this channel, she is not quite able to decipher. Ask this question again at another time, please.
Can you explain the difference between the fourth and fifth dimensions?
There are several differences, dear ones. First, in the fifth dimension, nothing is hidden. Everything is transparent. In the fourth dimension, some things may still be hidden. Second, the fifth dimension is centered in the heart, whereas the fourth dimension is centered more within the intellect. In the fourth dimension, the heart is beginning to be accessed more than the third dimension, but there is still much intellect and ego involved, whereas the fifth dimension does not engage the ego in the same way. In the fifth dimension, the ego is engaged in a way that allows. The ego is an assistant rather than the one that is dominant. The ego serves the heart and the higher frequencies rather than being allowed to take over, as in the third dimension and sometimes in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension has more density. The frequencies in the fifth dimension are much higher than the fourth dimension. This is true as you go up each dimension, dear ones. The frequencies become lighter and higher as you move into higher dimensions. It is explained this way for your understanding. However, the truth is much more encompassing. But because of the way your minds work in a linear fashion, it is explained in this way for your understanding. In the fifth dimension, there are many beings of light, some of whom you see, some of whom you do not. In the fourth dimension, there are still beings that are working out their polarity, beings of heavier density and heavier vibration. The fifth dimension moves away from polarity, and the fourth dimension continues to engage with polarity. Fifth dimensional energies have a clarity, a pristine energy, whereas fourth dimension energies still have some muddledness. Sometimes in the fourth dimension, the matrix, the hologram, is still engaged with in this dimension. Whereas in the fifth dimension, you move out of the matrix. You evolve past the hologram. There is much less limitation in the fifth dimension, whereas fourth dimensional energies continue to engage with some limitation. Not as much as the third dimension. It is a stepping stone between the third and fifth dimensions.
Does incarnating into a human body accelerate soul expansion in a significant way?
Ah, yes, dear ones. I have been awaiting this question. For this question reflects your deeper understanding of why you have come to this planet Earth. By taking form in a human body on Gaia. By coming into such great density as we have discussed in previous conversations, you take an evolutionary leap in your soul's growth. As many of you are aware, there are billions of souls who wish to incarnate into human form on your planet Gaia. You, dear ones, have been chosen, and you have agreed to come in service to the light. And part of this service is coming into the density, coming into the hologram, the limitation, the darkness that you have experienced. And in remembering who you are as love and light, you bring great streams of love and light energy to this planet. Thus, expanding your soul and accelerating its growth. It is very auspicious to be in human form, remembering who you are as love and light. And so for those of you who have chosen this path, I thank you for your service. The light realm congratulates you, observes, guides, and protects in admiration and awe of your courage and stamina. I thank you, dear ones.
Is this same quality reflected by beings incarnated in forms other than humans? Or is part of the darkness dealing with the ego experienced in human form?
Yes, dear one. Part of this darkness is dealing with the ego, as you have been relating to the ego, although some of you have evolved past this. It certainly makes it more challenging, or more of an opportunity for growth in dealing with the human ego, as some of the light forms and etheric light bodies and such are not dealing with the ego in the way that you are in human form. And so this is an added challenge or added growth opportunity for your soul.
In order to ascend, is it necessary to release all creations, positive or negative?
Another beautiful question, dear ones. Yes, you are evolving now. You see beyond ordinary matters and ask the questions that really matter. I thank you. Allow me to explain a bit about how this works. In this lifetime, in parallel lifetimes, in previous lifetimes, and future lifetimes, you have been and are constantly creating with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your intentions. And when your goal becomes ascension, then this is the creation that you put most of your energy towards. Yes, I understand, because you are still operating within the limited matrix, where you must earn money and support yourself, etc. That you must put some of your focus on these things. However, the more focus you can bring to your ascension, the more you understand that you must clear away and release and surrender all creations that do not point to your ascension, that do not support your ascension. And so looking at the larger perspective, you may see that in earning money for yourself to take care of your physical being, your spiritual being, your mental and emotional beings, this is supporting your ascension, do you see? And with your intentions to experience your ascension, you are creating your ascension. And so to understand this, dear ones, if you have not released and transmuted other creations, no matter if they are of a positive or negative nature, some of your energy is still working towards these creations. And so to become clear and focused on creating your ascension, it is quite important indeed to release all other creations. This is a process that would be wise to be revisited at least once a month, as you are evolving very rapidly now. And what you were creating a month ago may no longer be relevant for this now moment. And so to address, what are you creating in this now moment? Does it fully support your ascension? If not, do you wish to create something else? And what were you creating a month ago? Is it still relevant for your ascension? If not, release and transmute. And allow yourself to create in this now moment. This is a very powerful process, dear ones. I thank you for asking this question, for bringing light to this understanding. For when you can focus fully and completely on raising your vibrations, on your ascension, your path will be accelerated and magnified. And the light that you embody and share with others is expanded and magnified. Thus assisting your own path as well as the collective. Again, I thank you, dear ones.
Is the process of releasing and transmuting creations accelerated as one increases their frequency?
Yes, dear one, for you become clearer and able to see what it is that you need to release and transmute. And your transmutation abilities are amplified with higher vibrations and frequencies.
Is there anything we can work on to learn how to dematerialize and ascend before the Ascended Masters arrive to teach us these things?
There are the standard things you have been working on, dear ones. Acceptance, allowing, gratitude. All of these things are assisting in raising your vibration. For those of you who are choosing dematerialization as part of your ascension experience, these energies of gratitude and allowing and acceptance are very important in this process. Also very important in this process is mastering the physical body to the best of your ability. Those of you dealing with illness, sickness, what your souls are working on at this time is mastery of the physical body. Learning how to listen to the messages of the body. Learning how to release and transmute. Learning how to be in acceptance while you create change in the physical body. When you get to the point where you can release illness and transmute, you have reached a certain level of your physical mastery. As you practice transmuting other energies in your environment, you are also practicing with the energies that will eventually lead you to understand dematerialization. For example, blessing your food, raising the frequencies of the food that you eat, blessing your environment, raising the frequencies of your own home and the environments in which you travel. I will give you an exercise, dear ones. The next time you go into the grocery store to purchase your food, go in with the intention to transform your environment. If you meet someone in the store, look them in the eyes, send them love from your heart and give them a smile, and watch how they transform. When you pay for your food, do this with the cashier and watch how they transform. Go in with the intention to leave an energy trail of love behind you, to pave the way of your path in the store, to pave the way with love, so that you are walking in love, so that you are being love, so that you leave love wherever you travel. There are many other scenarios and applications for this, dear ones. Go with what calls to your heart and how you feel led. I wanted to start with this as an example.
Will everyone experience galactic disclosure, or will this only be experienced on certain timelines?
Dear ones, eventually everyone will experience this. Some have already experienced this. What we are working with now is preparing each soul. And because some souls are more ready, when the big event occurs, the initial push for galactic disclosure, the initial unfolding, many will experience meeting their star brothers and sisters. However, those that are not ready at a soul level will not experience this immediately. Yes, there will be announcements on TV. The souls who see this and are not ready, it will be as if they do not see it at all. In a way, it will not register fully and completely. They will feel like they have had a dream of some sort. It will be a bit disorienting for them. And so it will provide them with the initial energies that are required in order to be ready to meet their star brothers and sisters. But they will not see them right away as others will. In a sense, it is all one timeline, as there will be this initial unfolding of this event. And in another way, each soul is on its own timeline for the receiving of these energies, for the acknowledgement of this as their truth.
When critical mass is reached, will everyone on earth be able to create their heaven on earth if they desire, or will some be able to come and go into different dimensions?
Yes, dear ones. It will be heaven on earth for some to come and go as they please. Yes. As this unfolds, those souls that desire will be able to create their heaven on earth. And those souls that desire will be traveling through other dimensions, some returning to earth and having what you might call a home base on Gaia, and some traveling through other dimensions, stopping infrequently to visit this planet Earth. It will be a time of much rejoicing, fun, and play. I know many of you are eagerly awaiting this time. I thank you for your patience, and I invite you to continue working with your frequencies so that you can experience your heaven on earth on your own timeline as you are ready, whether other souls are ready or not.
Is there a potential gap between critical mass and the unfolding of galactic disclosure, monetary reform, and new government as world events?
Dear ones, there is this potential for what you would call a gap when critical mass is reached. It is possible that souls will decide that they wish to continue working on their mastery before the unfolding of these global universal events. And so while many of you are quite eager to get on with it, as this channel would say, as always, it is up to the souls, the hierarchy, and the decisions that we make together. It is not clear-cut or black and white, dear ones. For the ultimate goal in all of this is your ascension, the expansion and evolution of your souls. And so you are always deciding at a soul level what would bring the most evolution, what would bring the most expansion for the soul.
Is there anything else Prime Creator would like to share with those watching this video at this time?
There is something that this channel is working on for herself that I would like to share, as there are many souls who are ready for this step. At this time, she is integrating her soul aspect, this soul aspect that is in heaven. As she integrates it into her experience in the human form, she will then be experiencing heaven on earth. There are many of you who are ready for this step. If you have been working on integrating other soul aspects, you may ask your higher self, your I Am presence, am I ready to integrate my heavenly soul aspect? And if you get a yes, you can then intend to go through this process. Because she is a sensitive being, this is not necessarily an easy process to experience. However, she has called it forth. Because many of you are sensitive beings, it may be an interesting experience for the physical body, for the emotional body. And so before you ask and intend for this to happen, please have the understanding that it will be a time to be quite gentle with your being, to allow deep nourishment of your being. and to come into full acceptance that things are as they are, and to be grateful for who you are and all that you have. These are good ideas, whether or not you are integrating this aspect, dear ones. However, for those of you who are ready for this step, it is even more important for you to attend to these ideas. Much information is coming through many channels at this time for what lay ahead in 2016. Yes, while we are working on many grand unfoldings, I invite you, dear ones, not to become attached to any timeline. We have discussed this several times, and so you are well versed in the understanding of timelines and how they can shift and change. And at this time, timelines are rapidly shifting and changing. And so while much is being projected and forecasted for your year of 2016, I invite you to go about your lives with your focus on ascension, as we discussed earlier, and to go about your lives in gratitude, acceptance, and allowing. Yes, work with your magic. Work with your creations and your manifestations. Bring your heaven onto earth. And allow to be what is to be at the proper time, at the proper season. Thank you, dear ones, for your service, for your patience, for your co-creation of heaven on earth. Each of you are valuable. Each of you is important in this process. I thank you for all that you are doing to serve. Thank you, dear ones. Well, I have to say that I'm a little maybe disappointed that there's the potential for a gap between critical mass and the unfolding of galactic disclosure, a new government, and all the things that I'm desiring. However, I understand that we are here to evolve and expand our souls. And the whole reason we're here is for that purpose. So I get it. And I do want to get on with it already, as I'm sure many of you do. So thank you, Prime Creator, for being clear and always being upfront and straightforward with us. I know a lot of information that comes through from other channels is very positive and very, while I haven't engaged with the material, people tell me, people are predicting all kinds of wonderful things for this year. So while I'm appreciative of those messages and how that lifts our spirits, I also really appreciate the straightforwardness and the practicality of what Prime Creator brings. So thank you, Prime Creator, for putting us in the right mindset for bringing heaven to earth and creating all these shifts. And I thank you for creating these shifts with me. I'm so blessed that I'm not the only one doing this. And since I've been doing these channeling videos, more and more of you are stepping forward and sharing how these videos are helping and assisting, and your feedback like that for me helps and assists me, for it gives me a clearer purpose. So I will stop rambling and I will allow you to go on with the rest of your day, but I want to thank you for joining me today for this video, and keep shining your light, keep sharing your love, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks everyone, much love.